Hi there, now we're going to do lesson 65. My only function is the one God gave me. Isn't this wonderful how these lessons just keep preparing us? So let's go to paragraph 1. The idea for today reaffirms your commitment to salvation. My only function is the one God gave me. We're beginning to accept what we are and what God has decided we're supposed to do. It also reminds you that you have no function other than that. It's my only function. It makes it really simple there. This is my only function. Both these thoughts are obviously necessary for a total commitment. Salvation cannot be the only purpose you hold while you still cherish others. You got to have one purpose. Can only serve one master. Otherwise, you're going to have a split mind. Sentence 5, the full acceptance of salvation as your only function necessarily entails two phases. Pay attention to this. One is the recognition of salvation as your function. You become aware, oh, that's what I need to do. I need to recognize that I have a function, which is to save. Salvation here. And 2, the relinquishment of all other goals you have invented for yourself. Very simple. 1, I need to realize that only I can save myself. 2, I need to choose the one system that will save me and let go of the one that doesn't work. So awareness that I got to save myself and the ability to choose between those two systems because one only works. Only one works. So you recognize that you want love and you have love and fear to choose from. You're going to let go of fear. Recognize that there's only God, but you've been believing in otherness. You've been believing in ego. You got to look at both ego and God's perspectives and choose only God's. You're going to see that you are formless energy, but you believe that your energy that is physical. So now you got to let go of believing you're physical. There's a lot that we are becoming aware of that operates in oppositions, and we got to let go of the one that's not true, the one that will not lead you to happiness, so that you can choose the path of happiness, because it's only one way. But we've been operating inside of the ego mind, so we didn't even know there was another way. So we are becoming aware that there is another way, and then we see our way in that new way, and now we got to choose the new way only, because only the new way will free us. So paragraph 2, this is the only way in which you can take your rightful place among the saviors of the world. You got to remember, we've been believing we're sinners, less than, all alone in the world, that it's us against the world, that the world is out there and has our power, our joy, our happiness, our safety. So that was all we knew. Now we're discovering another way, God's way. Then the work is to pick the one that is true. So this takes time. Sentence number 2, paragraph 2, this is the only way in which you can say and mean, my only function is the one God gave me. Because you got to pick between those two functions, ego function and God's. Pick the one that is your function according to God. Once you begin to develop a trust that God is real and that what God is saying is true according to what the Course in Miracles is teaching. This is the only way in which you can find peace of mind. Again, otherwise you're going to have a split mind if you're thinking two things. So paragraph 3, today and for a number of days to follow, set aside 10 to 15 minutes for a more sustained practice period, in which you try to understand and accept the idea for the day. The idea for the day really means, what this idea really means. Today's idea offers you escape from all your perceived difficulties. Pay attention to this. This is the idea that's going to offer us escape from the ego. That my only, underline only function is the one God gave me. So we're learning what that function is. So we can pick only that one. All right. Sentence number 3, paragraph 3. It places the key to the door of peace, which you have closed upon yourself, in your hands. If God is the way to peace, knowing God is the way to peace, we've been given that key right now. So choosing God is the key that will unlock our ability to experience peace. If you don't want to use the key because you don't want to think with God, then know that you are keeping yourself out of peace because you're thinking with the ego that says, oh, my peace only comes from having a big bank account. My peace only comes from my son not killing himself because of doing drugs. My peace only comes from that person proposing to me. My peace only comes from the boss giving me the promotion. My peace only comes from my friend doing what I want to do. So in that case, you have said no to the key. You have said no to the key. God knows I said no to the key many, 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 many times because I was trying to do it all by myself. Thank goodness it never worked, which forced me eventually to come to God, which is something that is important to understand. We're all going to return to the truth because we never left it. The journey is, how quickly do you want to experience it while you're in this physical form? But give yourself permission to know that if you don't get it in this lifetime, you'll get it in another one. This is where we're going. But why not get there sooner rather than later when you're being given the key? Fascinating. It gives you the answer to all the searching you have done since time began. This key gives you the answer. All that search for happiness, joy, and peace. And it's just inside of you. Accept it. That's where God placed it, which means it's your only function. All right. Paragraph 4. Try, if possible, to undertake the daily extended practice periods at approximately the same time each day. You know, we're creating a ritual of believing truth. Try also to determine the time in advance and then adhere to it as closely as possible. Listen, I was doing this when I had kids at home and I had to get them up for breakfast, get them on the bus, get them to school, drive them sometimes. I was still working. There was a lot going on at the time. So sometimes I had to get up really early in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning. If that's what I had to do, I did it. But I was determined. So my journey, in many ways, when people tell me about their journeys, has been relatively short. But I had a determination that if Jesus could wake up, so could I. So I really believe that that was what gave me permission to do the work whenever I had to do. Are there days that I couldn't do it? Absolutely. I forgave myself and started again the next day. I did not spend a whole lot of time beating myself up. Only for a little while. When I was with Ken, did I beat myself up for thinking, oh my God, I know all this spiritual stuff and I'm not doing it. Well, my ego was having a field day trying to convince me that I was really messing up. And the Course in Miracles came and gave me the practice of forgiveness so that I didn't stay in that guilt and shame for too long. So yes, did I commit to a practice and made these lessons happen whenever I was told to make them happen, however many times a day? You bet yourself that I did, because I wanted freedom. Above anything else, I wanted that freedom. So the purpose of this is to arrange your day so that you have set apart the time for God. Hello, of course I was going to set apart time for God, as well as for the trivial purposes and goals that you will pursue. So I gave a couple of minutes to God, and the rest of the time my ego could have its way. Why? Because I knew that my time with God, those few minutes were powerful seeds being planted in my mind, and then the rest of the day I was doing the ego thing, believing that there were separate people that I had to take care of, or I had to coach, or I had to drive to, or make dinner for, or get into arguments with. If I had to defend myself with Ken, I knew all that was going to happen. But those few minutes with God, oh my gosh, I got to come home and feel the efficacy of that. And then those few minutes turned into longer periods of minutes, and 10 minutes and 15 minutes. And before I knew it, it was an hour apiece. And before I knew it, it was 2-3 hours apiece. And next thing I know, I only had 10 minutes of ego judgments in my head all day. Talk about amazing. But it took practice to get there. Sentence number 4 in paragraph 4. This is part of a long-range disciplinary training your mind needs. Jesus knows our mind has gone crazy. It's got to be trained, kind of like a little, bucking pony. It's totally untrained, and it's going to take time, and we got to be kind. This is a journey of self-love, forgiving ourselves, being kind to ourselves, being patient with ourselves, because when we see that love is so powerful here, then we will want to extend it there. Let me read that again. Sentence number 4, paragraph 4. This is part of a long-range disciplinary training your mind needs. Our mind needs to be disciplined so that the Holy Spirit can use it consistently for the purpose He shares with you. Yep. It took a lot of discipline for me to believe, to start receiving things that I didn't believe, to then begin to believe them because I felt them, and then commit to feeling them more and more often. And before I knew it, I didn't want to feel bad anymore. Simple as that. When feeling good was so easy, which was just to believe my truth, feeling bad was easy to let go of because I didn't want to feel bad because I knew I was then giving evidence of untruth. I was giving evidence to the ego, was making the ego powerful. I didn't want to have two masters. I only wanted one. Paragraph 5. For the longer practice period, begin by reviewing the idea for the day. Then close your eyes, repeat the idea to yourself once again, and watch your mind carefully to catch whatever thoughts cross it. At first, make no attempt to concentrate only on thoughts related to the idea for the day. So again, don't force this. Rather, try to uncover each thought that arises to interfere with it. I wanted to see my judgments. I needed to become aware of what they were. I was in a way becoming a spy of what my ego was doing, kind of like befriending my ego to figure out what its tricks were. So I was paying attention. What are these repetitive thoughts that I keep having? Because each time I wanted to think with God, love, joy, and peace, I had judgment. I had, how dare she? How could she? He should have. He shouldn't have. So I was paying attention to all these crazy thoughts in my mind. So I was uncovering what was interfering with my peace. Sentence 5, note each one as it comes to you. I was taking notes of these judgmental thoughts. I was keeping a log of my ego thoughts. With as little involvement or concern as possible, dismissing each one by telling yourself, so a judgment, oh, how could Ken have done this to me? I would say this thought reflects the goal that is preventing me from accepting my only function. This thought, how dare he? He should have. He didn't do. He could have. That thought reflects the goal with my ego that is preventing me, it's opposite to what I want, from accepting my only function, which is love, joy, and peace, as God gave it to me. Isn't that exciting? You begin to catch those thoughts, and then you acknowledge it. I'm thinking a thought that's preventing me from what I said I wanted. Well, clearly, if I really want what I said I wanted, I have to commit to it. How do you commit to it? Not by blaming yourself, because that's more ego thoughts, but by forgiving yourself. And then you feel peace when you forgive yourself. And sometimes you're going to cry when you forgive yourself because you've never felt such soothing words in your life than you forgiving you. It feels so good to know that the forgiveness that counts is the one in here. It's not about anybody else out there anymore. Why? Because you are the Son of God. Paragraph 6. After a while, interfering thoughts will become harder to find. Yep, they get a little trickier. Try, however, to continue a minute or so longer, attempting to catch a few of the idle thoughts that escape your attention before, but do not strain or make undue effort in doing this. Then tell yourself, on this clean slate, let my true function be written for me. On this clean slate, on this blank canvas, I just let all these thoughts go. I know that they're not real, but now in that space where my mind is blank, it belongs to God right now. I want to know my function. Sentence number 5, paragraph 6. You need not use these exact words. Like I said, I used to use the word blank canvas. This says clean slate. But try to get the sense of being willing to have your illusions of purpose be replaced by truth. I was making a distinction between the blank canvas, that to me was a symbol of innocence and purity and love and oneness. Nothing painted on it that divided anything. And every time I did a design on there, it was the illusion of separation. Oh, there's a tree. Oh, there's a house. Oh, there's, money. There's whatever. Husband, ex-husband. Oh my gosh. As if I didn't put things on my blank canvas, I was experiencing peace. From peace, I could see about to paint something on the canvas, and I would say no to it. I would choose to say no to it because I only wanted to feel my one function that God gave me. Sentence number 7. Or paragraph 7, finally repeat the idea for today once more and devote the rest of the practice period to trying to focus on its importance to you. The relief its acceptance will bring you by resolving your conflicts once and for all, and the extent to which you really want salvation in spite of your own foolish ideas to the contrary. Let me read that again. This is powerful. Finally, repeat the idea for today once more. Let me repeat it. My only function is the one God gave me. And devote the rest of the practice period to trying to focus on its importance to me. It was so important to have only one function. I only wanted to see with the eyes of love, with the eyes of God. period. I did not want to be right about anything else. The relief, its acceptance, will bring you by resolving your conflicts once and for all. Wow, did I feel relief when I realized, oh, I don't have to believe all my thoughts. I can pick and choose the thoughts that I want to believe as my truth. And the extent to which you really want salvation in spite of your own foolish ideas to the contrary. My gosh, did it feel good to know? I am not going to believe my own foolish thoughts anymore. It was startling realizing how many ridiculous ideas I had in my mind that I had been defending for a long, long time. That's when I began to say, Mom, this is your belief. Dad, this is yours. These hand-me-down beliefs that were passed down to me by culture, by government, by religion, by history, they're not mine because they were not God's to begin with. Somebody made them up along the way, and we all agreed to them. That's what mass consciousness is all about. And when I decided, no, that is not my truth, I began to let go of all of those judgmental, fear-based beliefs and began to come to know the truth as God was giving it to me on my blank canvas. It was amazing. Paragraph 8. In the shorter practice periods, which should be undertaken at least once an hour, use this form in applying today's idea. My only function is the one God gave me. I want no other, and I have no other. That was powerful for me. I want no other and I have no other. Oh, I don't even have another function. I only have the one function. So this choice is easy. Just believe what is true because what is real can't be threatened. So it'll wait for me to accept it, however long it takes me to accept it. Powerful, powerful, powerful. Sentence number 4, paragraph 8. Sometimes close your eyes as you practice this, and sometimes keep them open and look about you. It is what you see now that will be totally changed when you accept today's ideas completely. It is what you see now that will be totally changed. Then the things that are around me, I can see them. My only function is to love them. All of that. My only function is to love them, to love the lamp, to love the filing cabinet, to love the ex-husband, to love the new boyfriend, to love my son, to love, my body, to love the illness that is in other people, to say, hey, I love that you're using your power to believe something that is not true. But I know that they're in consciousness. I know there is no illness there except for the thoughts in their mind. And yes, people are going to say, but the body has it. But the body's not real when you understand the truth. Because when your function is to know truth, you know you're an idea in the mind of God. The implications of this is that when you know you're an idea in the mind of God and you begin to think with God, God doesn't create illness. You will have no illness when you accept your function because you'll be thinking with God. That's where this is heading. We're heading to experience abundance and joy and fun and wellness, connection, pure love. But we got to let go of all these things that are not true. Otherwise, our mind is split. So we'll get split stuff. Yeah, some days you feel good, some days you feel bad. Why? Because you have a split mind. Some days you feel healthy, some days you feel sick. Why? Because your mind is split. Think only one function, and then you won't have to suffer anymore. See how simple this is? Thanks a bunch, and I'll see you in the next lesson.